fans the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
What up, what up, what up? This is Mark, Furious, Nias, Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. I'd like to say what's up to everybody listening to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and all the various streaming platforms that play Deeper Than Music podcast. I always like to say, we always like to find great talent and get the story behind the music. Music is universal, so the show, we have hip-hop artists, jazz artists, actors, just entertainers bringing their great talent to the world. And today we have a very special guest or a group from Long Beach, Laced in Blue. They're bringing us rock, blues, all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Laced in Blue is here on Deeper Than Music Radio. How you guys doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain. I like to say you guys are the first interviewees of 2020, so bringing in the
that's what's up.
new decade with some good talent. So my first question, Laced in Blue, what's the story behind the title or the band name?
I think Ian should answer that one.
Yeah, we
Well, it started off with Kaylee.
Yeah, we had a band name. Or when we first started, the band name was Kaylee and the Jays, and that just wasn't going to work for me.
So yeah, let me say real quick. Me and Jerry and I had a band. It was Kaylee and the Jays. There were everybody in it. Their names started with J, so it made sense. We started losing band members because they weren't dedicated. We started finding new band members that were. Their names didn't start with J. Ian didn't like that very much. He's like, I'm getting tired of being asked which freaking J I am. And he's like, we need to change the name.
It just sounded too like 1950s doo-wop for me too. So I started listening to the music that we were playing, and we're tapping into these blues elements and these blues vibes, but it's not strict blues music.
It's not straight up blues.
It's not straight up blues. There's rock in it. There's hip hop beats, stuff like that, and
it's all over the place.
So I was just got to thinking, and I was just like, blues is kind of a staple in music. Like all blues is derived. All music is really derived from like blues scale, blues emotion, and stuff like that. And it really is like a lace that brings all the music together and holds it tight like a shoe. So I was like, what if we just named the band Laced in Blue? So instead of Laced in Blues, to me, too obvious, just like a Laced in Blue kind of like hits on that blues feeling, that blues touch, and our music is like it's all roped together and laced in blues music, but it's not. It's like not kind straight of blues. So it gives us a little bit more like room to express too, So then I brought it to them, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So we changed it, really formed everything.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like that. Laced in Blue. That's pretty clever how you guys did that. I like that. Because the band's so intriguing. It's like Laced in Blue. What's the story behind that?
Yeah. It's laced in the blues, it's laced in blue.
So you guys kind of answered my second question, like describe the sound, but you said it's pretty much blues, rock, hip hop.
Yeah, it's like kind of like modern, like heavy, progressive, new age, almost blues. You know what I mean? It's still growing. We're still growing in a sense of we're unafraid to like step outside the box. Like we're not afraid for one of our songs to be completely different from the next. And I think that's what makes us special. And we're still exploring that aspect. Like, let's try this, let's try that. Like we all like different kinds of music. So it all ties in, and well, ultimately it's the blues. It's like just different forms almost in a sense. We
incorporate so many different musical styles that are familiar to people, but we do it in a way that they've never heard before. So a lot of people tell us that they never listened to us before, but every song they listen to, it's like they know they've never heard it before, but it sounds familiar.
Right, you guys sound like this and this plus this, and it's like cool, like so it's familiar, but it's different, What was one of my favorite combinations? Somebody said we sounded like a combination of, it was like, I think they said Led Zeppelin meets Rage Against Machine.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Like,
wow.
Awesome. with Etta James, Janis Joplin vocals. I was like, sweet. Like,
fine with me.
Sounds like an amazing combination.
Sounds like a great band.
Like, sounds like a great band.
No.
I paid money to go see that
I'd go
band.
see that band, yeah.
That's a good. So it's like a mashup, if you will.
Sort of, yeah.
So I want to ask you guys, like, you got named so many great artists. Like, who are your influences? Like, who inspires you creatively?
Well, I mean, them that we named kind of, I feel like definitely had some inspiration. Led Zeppelin, Rage Against the Machine,
Yeah.
like they definitely did have. I think I was listening to a lot of System of a Down, honestly, when we first started the band. But
Yeah.
I'm a huge like Otis Redding fan. I know that's like a big jump
Yeah.
from like to Otis, but like I always listen to the blues and listen to soul and R&B, and so like that's always going to be like something that influences me. But rock and roll, I mean, who doesn't love rock and roll? Like, you know, it's like amazing. We all grew up listening to it. All our parents did. All of our parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, I got a lot of inspiration drumming from Mars Volta, specifically Thomas Pridgeon and John Theodore, which is he was the first drummer of Mars Volta, and I've taken a lot of style from him. And there's really anything that gets me going. Like I can listen to anything from gangster rap to death metal. So, I mean, there's just a lot of styles of like, well, I play drums in the band, so for that I try to like incorporate different things and make it a little tasty by taking, we're in a progressive blues rock band, but I'll also throw like some mean double bass pedal in there.
Oh yeah.
And like
like
just really like bring it to that next level for a couple seconds. And people are like, holy shit, I did not expect you to just come out with that crazy double bass thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, duh, good.
It's like, okay, get all Slipknot on real quick, and then go back to Ed.
Yeah, then we go back to Muddy Waters.
Yeah, go back to Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I
a
think
good combo.
Two of my main influences. I'm a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan on guitar, and since I've started playing more bass lately, I had to find an influence that I liked, and I settled on Les Claypool, and I'm not going back. So.
Okay. And then you mentioned I was actually listening to the System of a Down, and I always feel like that an idea for Aerials you could flip that into a hip hop song. I mean, just the beat itself.
Oh yeah.
So you guys mentioned about the Jays. So can we talk about the genesis of Laced in Blue, like how you guys met, like just the history of the band, the genesis of the band, and the history.
The origin story.
Okay. So it all started back when I was 3 years old. No, I'm just kidding. The first time I heard the blues. No, I'm just kidding.
Cliff Notes, girl. Cliff Notes.
Okay, so wrap it up. So when I moved to Long Beach, I started to discover music. It was something that was still new in my life, and my neighbor was jamming all the time, and I could hear her playing all the time. And one day I went over there, and Jerry was playing. He's other guitar. He was there jamming. We met, and he was like, "We should start a band." I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then we never exchanged information. Completely forgot about each other altogether. And then I had this moment where I was able to perform. Somebody asked me, like, "Hey, I heard you sing. Would you like to perform for this event?" And I was like, "Yes." Like, and they go, "Do you need a track or a band?" I was like, "I can find a band." And in that moment, I turn around and Jerry walks in, and I was like, "Yes." This is the person that I needed. And I asked him, like, "Hey, let's play." And it took him a second because he was really drunk. He didn't know who the hell I was or what I was talking about. But I stuck a note in his pocket. I took his phone. I texted myself. I made sure to stay in contact this time. And when he came over, we started jamming. And he grabbed himself a couple of his friends. We threw together a band. We played a couple shows, right? It kind of started falling apart. That was Kaylee and the Jays, right?
Okay.
The other bandmates didn't want to be a part of it anymore. They didn't want to write. They just wanted to do covers. We wanted to write. So we get rid of them. It's just me and Jerry again. And then one day, Jerry runs into Ian.
Oh yeah, well that was a fun thing, because I'm from Philadelphia and I had just moved to Long Beach. I was living out in like Chino Hills at the time, which is I had no car and like no way to do anything. I couldn't practice. I moved to Long Beach and I was like, I remember that day I went to Guitar Center to go play drums just to like, I needed to play, man. It was so long.
Yeah.
And I was dating a girl at the time. She's like, all right, well, let's go to this place called Iguana Kelly's. My friend from NorCal's there. It's his birthday. It was also St. Patrick's Day, 2016. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. Fucking let's go drink. And I would go in. We're like, I meet Kaylee. I meet like everyone, but I've never met them before. And
I wasn't there then. I was upstairs.
Oh yeah, well, no, you didn't come. Okay, maybe you weren't at the party. Yeah, well, Jerry was downstairs, and I hadn't met Will yet. And so I started talking to Jerry, and he's like, "Oh, do you play music?" I was like, "Yeah, but like I play drums, and I don't have any equipment. I'm just like really just trying to find someone who has drum equipment that I can use." And he's like, "I got everything right upstairs." I was like, "You live above the bar?" He's like, "Yeah." And at this point, it was like midnight, almost 1 a.m. And I was like, "Oh, we should jam sometime." And he was like, well, "Let's fucking go." I was like, "Right now?" He's like, "Yeah, right fucking now." And like, takes me upstairs, and I'm like going to this room.
I'm sleeping next
door.
door.
It's this tiny little bedroom, probably like, I don't know, like 8x6 or 10x6 or something like that. Real small. No business having a full jam space in that room.
Keys, guitars,
we go in and
drums.
we start jamming, and it just clicked. And Jerry was like, "I gotta go get Kaylee," and Kaylee was living across the hall, and he just starts pounding. We're like, Kaylee, gotta meet this drummer. And I'm just like, who the fuck is Kaylee?
Yeah.
And then Kaylee comes in and she's like, sick. Cool. I'm going back to fucking sleep now.
I was like, cool. He's in. Good night. I was like, don't wake me up again. I was like, what do you want?
That's how I met Jerry, and then we had a practice a couple of days later, and I was really, really stoked to be able to play music. And then we got Will, and I guess they knew Will from somewhere.
Yeah, I was in another band, and I was kind of friends.
Hey, this is Ella Reed.
Friends of friends with Jerry.
Friends with Kimmy, the one that kind of brought together.
and we jammed a couple of times together, me and Jerry and a few other people, but like nothing ever came of it. And he lost my contact information, and I was like literally texting my friend. I had just left my other band, and I was like, man, I'm looking for a new project. Hope something happens soon. And like later that day, Jerry texted me, and he's like, "Hey man, I just got your info from Jamie. I ran into him at Iguana Kelly's. You want to join a band?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Wow, there was no time.
Divine
time.
Yeah.
Ask and you shall receive.
So I showed up, and they were like, "Oh hey, by the way, can you play bass?" And I was like, I mean, I can, I guess. I don't have one." So I just kind of showed up with a guitar for a while.
Kept showing up with a guitar.
Tried to write.
We're like, guys, I think we need a bass player.
Yeah.
No, Will said we'll play bass. Yeah, but he keeps showing up with a guitar, so I don't really know
I
if
was like, guys,
really
I don't think he wants to play the bass. Like, he keeps showing up with a guitar, and I'm like, Will, like, do you want to just play the guitar, or do you want to play bass? No, I mean, it's really a bassy guitar.
Oh, it's a baritone guitar. We'll be fine.
We're going to be okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. We need a bass player. But we didn't have a bass player for the longest time. And we just did 2 guitars for a couple shows. But Will would,
for like a year.
Our first show, Will played 2 songs on the bass, and that was cool. And Will that's how it was going to revert back to 4 years later.
At one point, it was good for about a year, and then he was like, I'm not motivated to be here, I'm leaving, until he left, and we were like, well, that sucks. So we had to rework it, and Jerry and Will are now switching on and off on bass, so they both can express the guitarist that lives within them.
Okay. And I've actually really grown to love playing bass.
And,
I mean, it's...
Which is like, fucking hell yeah.
It's something that I don't know, I had to find a way to do it that was me, and then when I found that, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, and it's been working for us. And, we've been playing some pretty decent venues, Troubadour, Viper Room, you know what I mean? We're all over LA and Long Beach, and we're ready to keep moving.
Yeah, so it sounds like things just fell into place, and
they really did. Yeah, they phenomenally, and then we just got along so well too. So we've been family for the past 4 years now.
When you have that realization that you already have everything you need, you just have to do it.
Yeah, and you're and you're on the right path. It's weird how it all just comes together and everything makes sense, and you're like, no, this is what I have to do. I'm pretty sure everything in my life is pointing towards this, and it's a good feeling, and that's when everything starts to happen. That's where I think we're at right now. We're realizing, this is what we're supposed to do. This is awesome. Let's keep doing. Keep going.
We got into some really dope venues here in Long Beach, and just network the fuck out of all the musicians in town, because like, you know, that's what you got to do as a local band. You build each other up. But we pretty much quickly broke into the scene and got like, you know, some clout going on. Not too long.
People like us.
I mean, our first show, I mean, it was probably terrible. I mean, but people loved it. You know what I mean?
Our first show was like, the promoter was like, "What the hell? I should have put you guys on the main stage."
Yeah, our first show, they're like, "We should have put you outside on the big stage. What the heck? How come you didn't tell us?" It's
well,
like,
I mean, I can sit here and tell you that we're good, and
you didn't
you're
know.
not going to
I
believe
was
me
like,
until you hear it.
I was like,
now you know. Now you know we possess. So
and
since
then we looked at each other like, now we know.
So since we talked the genesis of the band, I have queued up Get Your Fix that I want to play for the listeners so they can hear about. We heard the history. Now let's hear the music. Can you give us the story behind the music on Get Your Fix before I play it?
Yeah, so Get Your Fix was the first one we wrote together as this band, right? Not the first song, but it was actually written for some family members of mine, and it was written for my little brother mostly, you know, and he's going through some really rough patches in his life, and I mean, we all go through rough patches, and it was just one of those things where he was starting to let it get the best of him, and it's hard when you don't really know what to do or say to help somebody because they have to help themselves, and all you can do is really just watch, you know, and it was just kind of like my perspective sitting there watching it all go down and just kind of like expressing how I felt about it, you know, like that I didn't want to give up on him and stuff, and I want to see him be happy, you know, and get through it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. It's just it's like, well, there's a lot of people out there struggling, you know, and the song is kind of to show other people that they're not alone, you know.
Okay.
There's more people going through the same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are also going through it. You know, it's not just, you know, my family member, or it's not just, you know, a friend. It's there's tons of people that are all going through it. And honestly, this song had some pretty good feedback. One of the first times I played a video of it or played the song, somebody hit me up and was like, "Dude, like, I'm going through this. I needed this. Like, I relate so much. Like, thank you so much for playing it." And that was like a real quick reminder that it was, you know, I did it for the right reason, and it's a good song, you know.
Okay, so now we heard the story behind the music. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest, Laced in Blue, Get Your Fix here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
This is Greg of Greg in Good Company, and you are listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
Are we muted now?
Sometimes I feel the need to wrap my mind around things. It all feels like a dream. I wonder what it all means. Sometimes inside I feel the need to stop time. I try not to rewind. Slowing down does just fine. Stop and take a look from another perspective. Is it what you expected? Make the call, manifest it. Giving it my all, cause we're all being tested. Think you're in control, you don't know anything. Guard your ears of what is happening. Realize you cause you're suffering. Find out what we hide and see that life is but a dream. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. The mind is quite a thing. I'm cautious of the words I sing, aware of what it brings. Music manifesting. Listen to my words. Determine what you think. How your feelings change with every pluck of his strings. Think you're in control, you don't know anything. God start dreaming, but I need you all awake. Can't you hear me screaming? It's your life that's at stake. Hope you learn the meaning of life for you one day. There's a reason, just believe it. It'll all turn out great. Wake up. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
This is Marquivas Furious Nias, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, get your fix. Deeper Than Music
Yay.
Radio, the special group Laced in Blue. Definitely like the song, the energy. Definitely.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
I like the solo section.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
like the transitions. So, my next question is being a band. And I was always one of the ideas from this Deeper Than Music was I always like watching MTV Behind the Music or VH1 Behind the Music, and I love the one about the bands because the bands you have all these different personalities, and it's always their stories are always more interesting than the solo artists. So my first question is, what is the biggest challenge that you guys faced in your career as a band?
Oof. Loaded question.
I would say it's what were we gonna do when Nate left?
Yeah, that was kind of a
Yeah.
big, like, holy shit, what do we do now? We
Like
lost
we
our
thought we
bass
had a bass player.
Yeah, we had a bass player, a friend of mine from Philadelphia. He moved out here, and to start a new life, and being in the band. The band was
And-
was
and
like
he's an amazing
a nice
bass
part of it.
Came out
And he was
here
with us for a solid year, maybe a little bit more, and one day decided to go home.
Yeah,
and,
he's like, I'm not
know,
making enough money. And
It's just like, you move to LA and it's hard.
Yeah, you don't make money in LA for a little while. Sometimes you got to pay your
Yeah.
dues. It's called paying your dues.
It's fucking tough, so it just didn't work out. But like, it was really sudden, and we were like, what do we do now?
We didn't really
Like,
get
now
much
we have to,
warning.
like, do we want to go find another person and bring in another completely new energy, completely new story, possible like egomaniac or not, or so it's just
Yeah,
like
just one
it's
more
hard,
person
like
to have
just
to get to
another
agree
person to
on
get in
something.
on our schedule to agree on stuff, and it's all like that can set you back a while, So we decided no, let's just be a 4-piece again, and Will and Jerry will just trade off on guitar and bass, like
Figure it out.
our songs that we're releasing 2 songs soon. Wake Up, Do What I Want. And Wake Up, Will's playing guitar on that song, and then Do What I Want, that's a Jerry guitar song. So we started going and just being like, hey man, let's just like switch off and just keep it the 4 of us because we're so comfortable together. Like, sure we like butt heads sometimes, but it never lasts long.
No.
Because we work really well, and it was just too unknown to like go and find someone else. That was probably the biggest thing we had to get over. But we came back, and I think we're stronger than before. And I think we're tighter than before. I think that
we all have a better sense of
it translates to our
We're all
live
in it.
shows. Like,
doing and
We're all in it to win it. We're all on the same page, It's like
Yeah.
we're all operating on the same frequency now. It's not like,
and it was causing a lot of strife, dude. Like, is he staying? Is he leaving?
Yeah.
Does he care? Does he not? Do we what's
I'd have to
happening?
pull him aside.
I
and,
wouldn't want. We didn't want to go through that again with someone because
Yeah.
I know bands that just recycle through people nonstop because they can't find someone who's dead. Everyone wants to be in a band until it's time to work.
Yeah.
And
it's a
then
lot of work.
when you realize that you have to this is a second job and you have like 4 relationships, like
Yeah, you're maintaining
I'm
multiple
pretty much I'm dating
relationships.
3 people right now
Yeah.
and working full time. Like straight up, like, you know,
we have
and
to
like
deal with
people
each
don't
other's emotional outbursts and behaviors. And
be
we
there
have to
for each
deal with,
other,
like,
but keep each other in line, make sure
Yeah,
everyone's
it's like-
good. Like, it's literally dating. It's a
But hey,
polyamorous
at
relationship.
At
Like,
least Kaylee and I are synchronized.
It's not
on
romantic,
periods.
though.
yeah,
It's
Will and
just-
Kaylee have the
it's
same
platonic.
period.
Me and
Same
yeah.
cycle.
So this is something we had to discover that actually is pretty interesting. There was a moment where
Is it?
It is pretty
Is it pretty
interesting.
interesting?
In my opinion, it was. So I was
Hey,
like,
if you're
what
into
the
periods.
hell is going on? Hey, look, the ladies are all gonna understand. We sync up, okay? Guys do too. They don't realize it.
They don't
Guys
realize
do
it.
too. Guys have their menstrual cycles.
I like that
And,
term. Okay.
So I was realizing, like, every time I was PMSing, Will would just be like attacking me, and I felt like super.
Will would be a little cunt, is what you're trying to
super-
say.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me though. He was attacking Ian. He was attacking
Me, the cat.
Jerry.
Yeah.
He was like angry with everybody. He'd have this like attitude, and then if I would try to defend myself, he would like just really just like
Rip your head.
rip my head off, and I would get all sensitive and be like, "Why is he so mean to me?" And I wouldn't understand because I'm all PMSing, and then it kept happening, and then finally I realized, dude, I think we are in sync with our cycles. I think we're on our period at the same time. And Will like stopped his angry fit that he was having at the moment that I brought it up, and he just started laughing and was like, I think you're right. He was like, I think you're right.
So now-
after
so now
that,
I gotta
he never
do-
fucked with me again after
Yeah,
that.
it all came down to me. It all came on me
It was
now.
always just fucking with Ian or Jerry, and I was okay with it.
Not
I was
even
like,
Jerry,
listen,
just me.
You gotta get your menstrual cycle in
I'm
sync,
like,
bro.
I don't have a
Like-
menstrual cycle. Jesus
He
Christ.
knows because he'll feel it coming. He's like, no, I can't mess with Kaylee because she's on hers too. So I'll take it out on Ian
That's what it
instead.
takes out on everybody else. So, on the flip side, what has been so far in your career the most rewarding moment or a highlight?
I'll tell you exactly what it was.
Jesus,
I'll tell you
okay.
exactly. It's the first time we played the Troubadour in West Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
And which is I don't know if you've ever heard of the Troubadour in West Hollywood, but it's a really amazing venue. Like, you know, Janis Joplin partied there her last night on Earth before she overdosed across the street.
That's
The System of a Down played their first headlining show in LA at the Troubadour. Metallica played their first LA debut at the Troubadour. Radiohead debuted OK Computer on that stage. It's like, you know, I'll still go see shows there of bands that I've been listening to forever, and just to be able to hang out in that green room up there, it's just something special.
Yeah,
and
that dirty
so
old
we
couch.
knew it was yeah, right. That we had,
How many
what
asses sat on
yeah,
that
how-
couch?
or what the
But
hell
I
happened
felt
on the
proud
couch?
to plant mine on it.
Oh yeah, drinking a beer and sitting your ass on that couch up there, like hell yeah. But, some really good homies. Whiskey and the Wolves. Shout out to those motherfuckers. They're Orange County. They're amazing. Yeah, they got us on with the show with them, and it just blew open some doors for us as musicians. Even just like playing on a professional stage like that, it's like nothing else. But the best part was it was our bass player's birthday, and we wanted to do something because this was a great night. So we wanted to do something special for it. So we pulled like 15 people together and dropped like
rented a mansion.
$1,300 on an Airbnb in the Hollywood Hills before and
For
after
one
the
night.
show. And after the
house
show,
has probably been taken off Airbnb by now.
yeah, it was like this. It was built in 1920s.
It was
like
a night of
wasn't
rock
like-
and roll and debauchery.
It was a nice fucking place, man. And then we just
It was
threw
beautiful.
a banger party after. And
But-
that was probably the most rock and roll night I've ever had
It
in my
was so
life.
fun.
How-
It was all the
But we got a 5-star review the next day, and they were like, Ian and Kyle and all of his friends were very nice people. 5 stars.
Still
Love to
got
have
5
them back.
stars.
I'm like, yeah. See, we're rock stars, but we're
But
responsible.
we're responsible.
And rock and roll you want, but you can still be respectful and get a 5-star rating from your Airbnb party house.
You
Yes,
can just
exactly.
clean it up. Don't break anything. Don't
Yeah,
break
I mean, I think that was the most rewarding show. And then we played the Troubadour again, which was awesome. We have
Yeah,
videos
so
out on
nice.
YouTube of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're like kind of have it in there, so we're trying to do another one hopefully this year. We'd like to do one at least once a year, you know. But that was, at least for me, that was like, fuck yeah, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome for sure.
So we
Like,
I think that was the first time the guys saw me in like a pretty sexy dress, because I always, up until that point, we were doing a lot of local shows, and I'd wear jeans and a tank top, ripped jeans, shorts, you know, stuff like that, or like I'd wear like a little sundress, but I didn't ever wear anything like sexy. And I was wearing like this velvety tight dress, and all of our friends were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Like, all the guys that always come to see us, like, "Who the hell are you? Like, where did you come from?" Like, you clean up nice. So I felt real fancy that night.
I remember driving home from work that day and being like, I'm going to go play the Troubadour tonight. What the hell? Like, somebody pinch me because I, like...
Always wanted to do that.
You know, like, who plays the Troubadour? Not me, you know?
Yeah.
Now I have, yeah. So that was cool. That was
Twice.
Cool.
Also recording with Seho at 4th Street Recording in Santa Monica. So it's crazy because like we were shopping for studios. So the Get Your Fix EP that's out on Spotify and all the platforms. Man, we recorded that like 3.5 years ago, maybe even like a long time ago.
A little studio in Long Beach.
Yeah, little Sanctus Sound. So we recorded there. But before we were shopping around, and someone that Kaylee had an in with and like knew.
He saw our potential, and he would just kind of like slip stuff our way when he felt like we were ready for it.
Yeah, so he was like, you should go to 4th Street Recording. Like Muse recorded there, No Doubt recorded there, Fiona Apple, Incubus recorded Science there, and and it's just like Beach Boys recorded Kokomo there, and we meet up with Kathleen Seho Navajas, and we were. I was nervous. I was like, "What the fuck are we doing in this studio? This is expensive. Like, are we ready for this?" But like, we were like, it was like, "Shit, this is dope." And like, it just ended up not working out, and we never went back. Never really hung out in Santa Monica much. And then we met some guys from a band called The Absurd. We had a show booked down in Long Beach. But,
shout out to The Absurd.
Shout out to The Absurd. Love you guys. And we had fuck The Absurd. Fuck The Absurd. We had a show.
Especially you, Ben. Fuck that guy.
The show got canceled because the venue, quote unquote, we forgot that we booked you guys a show tonight. But
they booked us on the day that the venue was even open.
Yeah, they forgot.
Poor Absurd. Long Beach,
and they came in all the way down from fucking Beverlywood to like play the show. So I was like, "Fuck, you're not going back. I'll take you guys out to my favorite bar with the V Room, Long Beach." On 4th Street, got to know them. They came back to my house, had a fire. Anyway, they invited us to come play. It's a monthly show in Santa Monica at Harvell's. It's called West Side Revival, and it's pretty much their brainchild and a couple other people in the scene that we're in that were like, "Yo, there's no good music on the West Side. It's all East Side. It's all like Silver Lake, Echo Park, stuff like that. Like." We need to bring music back to the West Side. So this is right down the street from 4th Street. So we go play. They invite us to play a show up there. And don't you know that Kathleen and Seho, who we met at 4th Street, were there. And they saw us play. And they were like, "You guys are awesome. You guys have to come record with us." And I was just like, "Do you remember meeting us like three and a half years ago?" And we were like, they were like, we were like, we had the real big, like, cruiser, and she's like, "Oh my God, you gave me weed." I was like, "Of course, I was smoking."
No, you didn't at all. What are you talking about?
Not 3 years ago.
I live where it's
legal here.
I live where it's
as in
legal.
like weeds from the lawn, like
weeds,
like.
Sorry to all the listeners who have to deal with that bullshit, but we don't. Anyway, so yeah, it was just a full circle thing that happened where it's like we were right back to where we started, but now we were ready for it, and we got into the studio and we just worked magic, and it just sounds so good. And that was amazing being able to play in that room too.
I do want to just say though, that night when we played at Harvell's, we were it was our first time playing there in Santa Monica,
and in front of all these new people,
and
that
it was
we had no
all
idea.
brand new, fully packed house, didn't know anybody, right? And so we were on fire. I had a bright red dress on, like,
and they gave us the best slot.
We had a great time slot. Yeah,
I was wearing
it's like
skin tight pink pants.
She will had skin tight as always, probably a neon color as always.
Yeah.
But when we stepped off the stage, Kathleen came up and she was just like, "Girl, you guys got the whole fucking thing," and she was like super stoked, right? She's like, "No, you got the looks, you guys got the sound, you got the attitude, like." Look at you! You just are you glow on stage, and I was just like overwhelmed by her for a second. I was like, "Go, okay, who are you? Thank you, lady. Like, what's going on?" And then I realized who she was, and she's like, "I run the place right across the street. You need to come and record with us. We'll cut you a deal." And I'm like, "Oh yeah!" And then we realized, like, we went there before. We met you before, you know.
And now we're homies. Now we, hang out with them.
But it's like
they're part of our people.
It's like a new respect, though, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like now they want to work with us.
Yeah, it wasn't us just like going and shopping. They didn't know who we were.
Yeah,
like that.
They're like, yes, they're excited to have us there to play.
And it's those like synchronous things, those full circle moments that just make me like, oh, this is why I do this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like it doesn't always happen quickly, but like when it happens, it's nice. It's surreal, really. It's like fuck. And then we had our shit mixed with a guy who works at Capitol Records.
Watch your mouth.
I've been here.
That's pretty cool. I want to do a time check. We got like 10 minutes. As with great interviews, they go by real fast. But before we go, and I'll end it with the snippet of your unreleased song, I wanted to say, this is kind of like shameless promotion time. We mentioned some of your songs, but can you give us a list of your catalog, and then what's next for Laced in Blue? Like, when's the next venue? When like, can the listeners hear more of your great music, your social media, and things to come?
Well, so we got a 4-song EP that's been out for a while now. It's got Get Your Fix, Steal, Love is Powerful, and Rise Above. Kind of gives you a decent idea of our sound. Mm-hmm. And then we have 2 songs that are about to be released, Wake Up and Do What I Want. We have another song called Revolution that's right behind that one. We have another song called Pain Phase that's right behind that one.
And this is all going to be on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Google Play Music, all those streaming services.
And watch out for videos. For
we're going to start recording, start production on our music video this week. Hopefully, we have a meeting tomorrow with the cinematographer Friday with the videographer and everything. And you can find us on Instagram at Laced in Blue Band. Just our band name with band at the end of it. Say hi, just like, interact, and I run that shit, so I feel like you can just hit me up and we can talk and
Ian's
Facebook
pretty good with
everything.
Staying on social media, and he responds to everybody usually.
Yeah, I'm like the.
He's very available.
I, on the other hand, if you go to my Kaylee Robin Instagram, I will respond, but I just sometimes takes me 4 days. So just go to the fan page. Ian's a lot better about it.
You can send me a text or you can call me, but it's probably advised just show up at my house.
Yeah.
And if nobody answers the front door, just walk in.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm just doing something.
But also, you can find us on.
You just told the whole world to walk into your house. Just be careful when you got a whole bunch of strangers.
I didn't give her my address.
So you can also find our stuff on our website. It's just www.lacedinblue.com. We got pictures. We got our music up there. All of our show announcements. If you're in the LA area in Hollywood, February 28th at Bordner's by LaBelle, we are playing the Rockers Ball, which is a great show down there, ran by our homie Lucas Flood, who's really doing great things for the music scene down in Hollywood right now. Between his other project he's doing, he's really killing it. So we're going to be there the 28th. I think that's going to be our first show back. And then Long Beach, our friend just bought a venue. It's called D Piazzas. We're going to be starting to throw a bunch of nice shows down there. So that'll be March 20th. Really just like working on these videos and getting all of our done. We have a lot of meetings with people. Like things are like in the works, and it's exciting as hell, man. We're finally here.
Once it's all ready, it's gonna be really exciting to start dropping single after single after single. It's like just getting all the ducks in a row so we can knock them all down. It's like that domino, getting the dominoes.
And then the more you interact with us, and the more you tell people about us, the easier it's gonna be for us to be in your town one day. Go support, man, so we can get on the road and come to your town and show you what's up. Give you some of that Long Beach love, you know what I mean? Like, that's not weed. It's okay, guys.
Go to our website and buy some merch, and we'll send you a free koozie.
Yeah.
If we have any more left, we'll have to get more.
Yeah.
The guys keep offering free koozies, but they don't realize we're almost out.
So we
giving them away like
we talked about what's to come. I want to close out with the snippet, and this is a treat for our listeners here. A snippet of Wake. Can you give us just a little bit of the story behind the snippet or the song soon to be released?
For Wake Up? It's a song Jerry and I wrote a long time ago, and we kept playing it, and we were like, this isn't working, and then Ian and Will got in, and we started just tweaking it and messing around with it, and we created something that we felt was sort of magical, you know?
Once we had it kind of one way, and we played it that way for a while, and then once we decided that we weren't going to get a bass player and we were just going to do the 4-piece thing, we totally reworked the song, but we kept kind of like the original kernel of it.
Yeah,
and
all the lyrics are the same. It's just like the delivery changed a little bit.
And the song itself is about really just like breaking out of your habits, breaking out of your zombie like mind states, and just really waking up to what's going on around you, being present around you, being present,
asking questions.
No, realizing that your words and your thoughts have meaning and they have power. And one of my favorite lines from the song is how your thoughts, how your feelings
change
change with
with
every
every
pluck
pluck
of
of
his
his
strings. And it really just goes to show, like, if music can change you, music can really implant ideas in your head, and you got to wake up and get the
Be careful
the
what
F
you're
out of your
listening
way.
to sometimes,
And be careful what you're
'cause-
listening to, because it can be poison. It can
Yeah.
be poison for your mind.
It's mantra, it's magic. It's like saying prayers, saying mantra, you know what I mean? Like repeating spells in a sense. It's like music is magical. I don't think people
Yeah.
realize how magical it is.
Yeah.
It's just one of those ways, kind of like ways to show you like see how this song's making you feel this way? Like, so do all the other songs
Yeah,
you listen
everything you
to.
listen
You know what I
to,
mean? And
and-
so does everything you watch.
And it's on a subconscious level,
And-
too, so.
The things that you feed yourself, you know?
We try to put the best intentions behind our music, and really just try to spread good energy and good. I mean,
Good vibes only, you know?
Like even if
Music
it
can
sounds
be-
dark, it still always has like a rewarding factor at the end of
Yeah.
it. There's always a reason for the darkness to get to
Yeah.
that light, you know.
Yeah, it might seem like it's about something heavy or something dark, and it might be about something heavy or dark, but it's like bringing out that positivity that comes from it, that stems from it, also showing people like how to maybe rise above it in a sense, get outside of it.
Music can be as powerful as motivation if you let
There
it.
you go.
Yeah,
there you go,
So
like-
some people, music is motivation. Some people can't start their day without playing music. Like,
And those are the ones that let it.
So this is this little snippet of the chorus of this song. I hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be released early February.
Watch out
Yep.
for video.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, another great interview. Laced in Blue, check them out if you're in Long Beach, and also request them. Hey, they'll come to your town and play. So we're going to close out another great interview with Long Beach band Laced in Blue with a snippet of their song Wake Up here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes I feel the need to wrap my mind around things. It all feels like a dream. I wonder what it